Expansion, Flash, oh man, Flash losing 3 SCVs already to that Reaver. There was a gap, and Jangbi with that Observer spotted it, and now has exploited it very well. Speed upgrade also for that shuttle, so it is going to be quite successful in here, although he can't get into the main mineral line. Trying to drop and perhaps kill off some vultures. Looks like he will kill off some vultures, but this shuttle could get trapped in the back now with the glides there. Glides need to focus fire on the shuttle, though. Flash needs to focus fire on the shuttle. Glide taking down, one glide taken down, rather, by the Reaver, and it seems that the Reaver has escaped inside the shuttle. Hasty getaway there, but nice work. And Templar Archives already up for Jangbi. Flash gaining a scan off and seeing that Jangbi's tech tree is almost complete here. One more Reaver crawling through the middle, actually. Perhaps just trying to get closer to his body of units in the center. And Jangbi now has picked up the 11 o'clock position. He's at 4 bases to 3 right now, which isn't terrible for Flash, but certainly a cause for concern. I think Flash is a little bit behind so far in this game. Jangbi has maintained a bit of an economic advantage throughout the game, and Flash is certainly facing a very, very tough foe here. Starport going for Flash. We'll see if it's just for the science facility so we can get that +2 attack. And we'll see if Jangbi decides to go for Arbiters or for Carriers. I think they're equally viable on this map. I would even perhaps lean towards Carriers because it is Blue Storm, and there are so many ridges on this map. Just like it's good for Mulisks, it is good for Carriers. Although because the Templar is up, we could expect Arbiters just the same. Flash has a couple more turrets up. Good enough, I think, a turret roll to protect his main base, and hence he feels safe enough to move out. Now trying to take control of the central ridge. Here's Jangbi's first-person view. And double drop here coming from Jangbi, moving across. He's going to be able to couple turrets, but once again, a hole in Flash's defenses. Jangbi has exploited another hole in Flash's defenses, although I'm not sure if he's going to go in. Looks like he will go in anyway. This is a suicidal drop here, but he doesn't get the Reaver off in the first shuttle, but he does get those Zealots out, and they will be able to kill off the turrets, hence giving more room for the Reavers to maneuver. I think one Reaver has gone down, but second Reaver drops, causing havoc in the backfield, but not managing to kill anything so far. I'm not sure if I could call this a successful drop until he kills some SCVs, killing a couple of vultures, but Flash is not going to mind that so much, and looks like this drop will not succeed. No! The dropship, I'm sorry, the shuttle's still alive, and the Reaver in the corner of the base. Once a Goliath comes on, that will go down. Meanwhile, Flash has taken his center of the map, so I would not call this a successful drop, although Jangbi still has a chance to redeem himself, perhaps, if he manages to get something down here. But Flash has a tank there, and I think one kill. But, oh no! Flash's tank is not in range, and what will this Scarab do? No! Dung Beetle Scarab will not take down those SCVs. By the way, Dung Beetle is because Scarabs were actually Egyptian, sacred Egyptian dung beetles. Anyway, science facility up for Flash, and now the Jangbi's shuttle will get taken down. There it goes. Suicidal. Oh, but Flash sniping off the shuttle, the SCV, but sorry, the Reaver, but it takes off a couple of SCVs. Anyway, now an attack coming in the middle from Jangbi, perhaps capturing Flash a little bit distracted. I don't think he's going to break through, though. There are enough tanks on the upper ground. It's going to come down to this battle between the Zealots and the Vultures. I think Flash will hold, though. Not enough Zealots in the front, and Flash holds. So Flash taking a decisive army advantage in the game. He's managed to whittle down the shuttle fleet, killed off all the shuttles, and whittled down the army of Jangbi. Wow, this game is absolutely exciting to cast here from a commentator. I have to say that from a commentator's point of view, this is absolutely exciting because this game has two top players, and when top players are playing, they're definitely throwing in attacks from left and right. Certainly not one of the even the mid-level Pro League players do not have games this exciting. They do not go for two-way attacks as much as these players do. So it's absolutely exciting to cast this game, I have to say. Flash can think about setting up an expansion. He will set up that expansion at the 5 o'clock, and Jangbi has his feared High Templar out, though. Flash looks like he's trying to set up some turrets around here just to get some vision and perhaps stop further shuttles, but it's going to be taken down by Jangbi. Jangbi trying to prevent Flash from getting the expansion at the lower right, or perhaps just to spot it off. And here comes Flash chasing it out, and actually there is a pylon there, so Jangbi will know that this expansion's going up. Doesn't manage to delay it, though. So Flash pretty much following Jangbi in expansions, although Jangbi once again is trying to get the last remaining expansion. +1 attack up for Flash with his siege tanks. Here comes another shuttle, though, for Jangbi. Jangbi persisting, and this is going to be a High Templar drop. Or perhaps he's going to do the High Templar coach, as we've seen recently. Basically, the Protoss player keeps the High Templar inside of the shuttle while he goes for the attack, so they're not targeted as they run in first. Here comes the drop from the High Templar. We are going to see that from Jangbi. Excellent storms by Jangbi, and this is absolutely his hallmark move here, although other Protosses do use this. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful storms because they're not getting targeted so well. And he's managed to pick off a lot of tanks there, so breaking the left flank of Flash's army here, and I think he might be able to push up the ramp because he has split Flash's army in half. Flash had a cover the 6 o'clock position, and a fleet beacon going up, so we are going to see some Protoss carriers here, aircraft carriers from Protoss, and this is going to be absolutely exciting. I do find carriers more exciting than arbiters, as I'm sure you guys do. Also, arbiters are certainly more of a support unit than carriers are. Carriers are the well, not the mothership, but the sort of mother fleet of the Protoss. And I will be excited about motherships, by the way, in StarCraft 2. I can't wait to see the Protoss arsenal. I think they have the most innovative new units. Excuse me, and here comes Jangbi once again with a frontal attack. Oh, but this time the turret's there, and it takes down that fleet of a coach, I call it coach, for the High Templar. It's no longer there, so Jangbi's forced to retreat because he can't get those precious storms off against that massive tanks. Flash probably is going to produce a couple more Goliaths now that he spotted this. Most likely he spotted these Stargates coming up. And maybe even a science facility or two, for a science vessel or two for EMP, although that's much more common against arbiters. And Jangbi is trying to go down the left flank once again to try to take off that expansion. Absolutely smart strategic decision here. Basically, by opening up that flank, Flash is forced to defend on several different grounds, and Jangbi can set up a nice surround attack against him. And Flash is forced to commit here, and now Jangbi has carriers, so I would say the advantage has swung back to Jangbi's favor here, and these carriers are going to be absolutely devastating against Flash, especially if he attacks using his ground forces in one direction, and he uses his carriers to harass across one of the ridges. That will absolutely be devastating for Flash. I don't know if he'll be able to respond with enough units to each site to be able to deal with this. High Templar gets killed off there, I think. And this is turning out to be absolutely epic between these two players, I have to say. Another big attack in the middle from Jangbi, running into the lines of Flash, and this time Flash does not have enough tanks. This is what I meant about forcing Flash to stretch out his lines, stretch him thin, and this is how the Protoss needs to fight against the Terran. He needs to force the Terran to spread out because the Terran is so concentrated, so powerful in one defensive ball. An absolutely brilliant military strategy here from Jangbi. Reducing the tank count, so eventually his carrier and Dragoon force will be able to push through. Jangbi now with 3 carriers, still pumping out 3 Stargates. Very, very good here from Jangbi. Jangbi's upgrades, I believe it's plus 1 still for his attack. I don't think he's up to +2 yet, although I can't be sure because of the VOD quality. Flash is up to +1 armor, +2 attack for his armor units. And now we're seeing Flash float up his 5th expansion, 5th base, into the 6 o'clock position. Flash trying to take a little bit of map control in the center, though, but Jangbi's consistently fighting that flank, and I think Jangbi's now using the shuttle for perhaps more Templar drops, but it looks like it's going to get taken down. Flash focusing fire with those Charon boosters, and so I think Jangbi needs to abandon this practice of putting his Templar inside the shuttle. Meanwhile, though, Jangbi's still managing to keep the tank count relatively low. Zealots pushing up and picking off a couple more tanks, although this time I think Jangbi may have overextended himself. His force just was not big enough to do enough damage to Flash, and Flash might have a narrow window of opportunity to push out here and do some damage to Jangbi. Jangbi, though, is going to have 6 carriers out very soon. He actually might have 6, and he might be going for 8 right now, which is going to be very, very difficult to stop. Indeed, he has 6 carriers out. I'm not sure what the interceptor upgrade is, but Flash is going to be in big, big trouble here. There's absolutely no defense here at the lower left, and Flash is going to lose these turrets, and he might even lose his command center here. These turrets are the only thing protecting it. Looks like a force of only 4 or 5 Goliaths coming down to reinforce. And, oh, this is absolutely terrible for Flash. Flash only with a couple of Goliaths, although I think this is up to 8 right now. Jangbi should go for this command center snipe right now. I think it will be best for him if he decides to just focus fire on the command center, even at the cost of 1 carrier. I think it's worth it just to hurt Flash's economy. It looks like Flash is forced to float up here, and since Flash is forced to go through that little choke, his Goliaths can be picked off one by one. This is what I meant about Blue Storm having a lot of possibilities for carriers. And now now Jangbi going in for the push at the middle here. A nice storm, and now Jangbi attacking with both carriers and ground forces, although I think his carriers are in the wrong position here. He's getting focus fire by those Goliaths, but the Dragoons might be able to pick all the Goliaths off, and it won't matter after all the Goliaths go down if the Dragoons manage to break through. But it looks like no, the Dragoons will be forced to push back because the carriers were badly wounded, and they didn't want to commit them and have them be lost. Now Jangbi going for an attack at the north here. He certainly delayed mining at the 6 o'clock position, which I think is what he wanted to do and all he needed to do. Flash with nice upgrades, though. +2, +3 now for Flash. +3 attack, so that's definitely going to be devastating to these carriers. And Jangbi going for harass at the top. Meanwhile, he could probably set up an attack in the middle if Flash decides to move his Goliaths over to deal with it. And Jangbi with some micro errors, though, trying to push through over to these turrets, allowing these turrets some free hits on his carriers. That's a bit careless by Jangbi. He should not be directly engaging his turrets. The turrets should not even be able to hit his carriers at all. Flash now pulling all of his Goliaths back, and Jangbi is forced to retreat. So taking some damage without it being really necessary, that's a little bit careless. But Jangbi does have more reinforcing carriers coming.